Hi, hello, and welcome back to F1 Challenge Career Mode. My name is Mephisto, and today we're heading off to France for round 11 of the 2002 Formula 1 season. Let's get started.
Located just a few kilometers south of Nevers, the Magny-Cours circuit combines several short straights with an interesting selection of slow to medium speed turns, hairpins and chicanes. Like the Spanish circuit de Catalunya, Magny-Cours is a modern facility built specifically for motor racing.
And we jump straight into qualifying. This is my first flying lap, and since this is Monaco, I wasn't doing all that well. But we crossed the line in 120.327. Now let's see if we can improve on that. And I've just started my second run. Hopefully this will be a lot better. But no, I turn in a little too early, go onto the grass, that sends my car into a spin. I hit the wall, rear wing gone, left rear wheel gone, and my engine died. Let's see that again. So here I am coming through the chicane at the end of the lap, then through the final corner of the track to start my flying lap. Pull all the way to the right as you do here, then turn in for the left-hander. Turns out that it was a bit too soon, go off, touch the grass, spins me around and sends me flying into the barrier, and the car is pretty much destroyed at this point. So that is the end of qualifying for me. Yes, I know I could still continue, but if this were real, you wouldn't be able to. So I'll just call it quits here.
Hello there. Welcome to France for round 11 of the 2002 FIA Formula One World Championship. The weather, as so often is the case here, is just wonderful. Michael Schumacher consistently outpaced his championship rival, the Renault driver. Raikkonen, second. Juan Pablo Montoya, third. Coulthard, fourth. Jenson Button was consistently faster than his teammate. He starts fifth. Ralf Schumacher, sixth. Heidfeld, seventh. Barrichello, eighth. Jacques Villeneuve, ninth. Giancarlo Fisichella, 10th. Heinz-Harald Frentzen, 11th. Eddie Irvine, 12th. Webber, 13th. Felipe Massa, 14th. Mika Salo, 15th. Takuma Sato, 16th. Panis, 17th. De La Rosa, 18th. Enrique Bernaldi, 19th. Alan McNeish, 20th. The Renault driver, 21st. Alex Young, 22nd.
And here we are on the grid. We are starting from 21st amazingly. Schumacher's in pole, Kimi Raikkonen is second, and teammate Button is once again in 5th. Lights are out and we're off, except for Enrique Bernaldi. Oh no, wait, there are two more cars stuck on the grid. The second arrows of Heinz-Harald Frentzen and one of the Jordans are also stuck. Wow, 3 cars were unable to start. What's more, 2 of them are from the same team. Very interesting. But we are slowly coming up on Alex Young, who, if you remember, was stuck himself on the grid at the British Grand Prix. Luckily, he didn't suffer the same fate twice. Here is a replay of the start, lots of smoke coming off my wheels. We see Enrique Bernaldi at the back there standing still, and now we can kind of see all 3 of them. Not sure what happened there. It is a bit unusual to see 3 cars stuck on the grid. And we are now on board with Enrique Bernaldi, who watches helplessly as almost everyone pulls away from the grid. And there up front we could see his teammate and the Jordan. Meanwhile, McNish regains his last position, as our engineer informs us that the stuck cars are still on the grid. And I once again overtake Alan McNish. Next is De La Rosa, who slows down all of a sudden. He was being held up by Rubens Barrichello, who is having some problems with his gearbox. We pass Barrichello and we should now be somewhere in P18 I think, but I guess we'll find out once we cross the line. De La Rosa is now pulling away slightly, but we catch back up through the chicane as we come around to finish lap 1 of the 2002 French Grand Prix. And I can already see the 3 cars stuck on the grid, and it looks like we are actually in 16th. In any case, let's try to push for a higher position, a point scoring one if possible. As we come out of the Adelaide hairpin, we get a good run on De La Rosa and we overtake him without any problems. However, I brake too late, causing me to completely mess up my line through the chicane, and apparently De La Rosa hit me. But I didn't feel anything in the wheel, so we'll have to see if there's any damage. Oh, and there is. Steering feels a bit lopsided. So here is a replay, hopefully we'll be able to see a bit better what happened. I come into the chicane, so does De La Rosa. I cut the track a bit, and just as I rejoined, De La Rosa slightly tapped the rear of my car, and as it turns out, that was enough to damage my suspension. So I'll have to complete the next 19 or so laps with a damaged suspension, and I'm not really looking forward to it. Later on, however, I was once again catching up to Pedro De La Rosa. We entered the Adelaide hairpin, get a decent exit, and we fly right past De La Rosa. Next up is Takuma Sato, who is around 7 seconds up the road. Right about lap 5, people started pitting, and there we can see Jacques Villeneuve in the BAR coming out of the pits. Will he let us through? Yes, he will. I guess he figured it would be safer to just let me through rather than race me and risk an accident. This is around lap 9 or 10, and I'm being informed of an accident up ahead. And there's the yellow flag. It seems like it is Coulthard who went off. And it sounds pretty serious too. Here he is, with teammate Button right behind. They come through the slow left-hander. Button clips the rear of the McLaren, spins it around, and David Coulthard drives straight into the wall, loses his front wing and his right front tire. So that's it for the Scotsman, but for us, the race continues. And with people around us pitting, we are starting to gain some positions. We might actually be able to score some points. And there it is, we are now in 8th. A bit later on, as I was coming through the tight left-hander in the middle sector, I went a bit wide, allowing Villeneuve to get in front of us. However, I stayed with him in the hope that I might be able to regain that position. I have a look on the inside, however I brake too early and too much, and that allows Villeneuve to get away. A bit later on, I was still chasing after Villeneuve, with Mark Webber now right behind me. Villeneuve suddenly stops his car. I almost rear-ended him. There were no signs that he was in trouble, so I wasn't really expecting it. Now for a replay, we are coming into the Adelaide hairpin. Everything seems fine, there's no smoke and no indication of any problems. But Villeneuve stops the car right on the racing line. That could have ended very badly for us. If I wasn't paying any attention, I could have easily ended up crashing into the rear of Villeneuve's VAR. And I go wide through this tight right-hander, allowing Webber to pull out in front of us. But we can't allow a Minardi to pass us now, can we? Luckily, I get to keep my position. However, we are pitting, so that was a bit pointless. Either way, let's see how things go in the pits, and where we will end up once we are ready to rejoin the track. Almost a perfect stop. Yes, I did just say that, and no, I didn't really mean it. Anyone who's been following my videos for any length of time should by now know that I'm basically incapable of stopping the car on the mark. And that is a 10.5 second stopper. A bit on the slow side, but we did take on a lot of fuel, so I guess that explains it. Coming around towards the end of my outlap, I messed my entrance into the final chicane and managed to slide the car out of control. So we'll lose a good 2 seconds because of that, maybe even more. But we are chasing after Olivier Panis at the moment, who is around 4.5 seconds up the road, and I go wide through turn 1, dip my right side into the grass, that sends me into a spin, and we lose even more time. We are now 7.5 seconds behind Panis. That was quite embarrassing. Hopefully I will be able to stay out of any more similar situations, as Salo is having some problems, and there we have a yellow flag, coming around the tight left-hander, and there's the Toyota of Mika Salo. Here's the replay. He comes into the tight left-hander, smoke starts to come out of the rear of the Toyota, he exits the corner and stops his car, and there we can see the remaining Jordan and one of the BARs coming around to pass him. So that's one more retirement to add to the list, as we are now slowly entering the closing stages of this race, so we need to start pushing a bit, we need to score some points. We are now 5 or 6 laps away from the checkered flag, as there is another incident, so let's have a look. And here is the Minardi of Mark Webber. He is coming into the tight left-hander in Sector 2. Eddie Irvine is behind him in the Jaguar. Mark Webber crashes into the Toyota, loses his front wing and a wheel. Irvine tries to go around but hits him, then Button hits Irvine. Now Ralf Schumacher is coming around and crashes into Salo's Toyota. That was quite a pile-up. Lots of front wings all over the place, which means that there will be a lot of pit stops. That's good news for us because we will jump 3 cars at the very least. Maybe even more if there are any other cars who also have to pit, and I guess we'll find out. Turn in for the final right-hander at the end of the lap, and we pass 1, 2, 3, 4 cars. That puts us in 6th and in the points. Up next would be Heidfeld, who is some 17 seconds up the road, so I don't think we can catch up to him. A few laps later, Button caught up to me and his crew. You know, you can look at it in 2 ways. 1, I was stupid and went too wide. 2, team orders. I personally choose the latter. It makes me look a little bit better. On the next lap, I make another mistake, accidentally cut the track, so I slow down to avoid a penalty, which allows Ralf Schumacher to overtake me. And we are now on the final lap. Michael Schumacher just crossed the line to take the victory. I get a decent exit out of Adelaide, and we pass Ralf Schumacher on the final lap. We are now up in 6th, so let's hope that we can stay here for the remainder of the lap. And we are coming around into the final chicane and the final right-hander of the race, and we did it. We finished the race in 6th. Not all that great, but at least we managed to put 1 more point on the board, as I'm joyfully weaving the car. This was a very tough race, and I'm quite surprised I finished this high up. And looking at the retirements board, it looks like both Arrow's cars had clutch problems, and the Jordan of Fisichella had some sort of electronics malfunction. And what do you know, there's something going on the wind down map. Only in F1 Challenge 9902, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I'm guessing someone ran out of fuel or something. Anyway, I think it's time we take a look at the leaderboards. See how this result affects our championship. And there's the Toyota of Alan McNish, stopped in the middle of the track. As I said, he probably ran out of fuel on the wind down lap.
After that fantastic French Grand Prix, let's take a look at the final results. Michael Schumacher first. Kimi Raikkonen second. Montoya third. Nick Heidfeld fourth. Jenson Button fifth. The Renault driver sixth. With the results confirmed, it's high time we updated the Drivers' Championship.
So we are now tied in first with Michael Schumacher with 60 points, which is going to make the remainder of the season quite tough. Montoya is momentarily in second with 42 points. In third we have Raikkonen with 31 points. Fourth is held by Coulthard with 30 points. Fifth is Ralf Schumacher with 13 points, position which he shares with Jenson Button. Nick Heidfeld is 6th with 11 points. In 7th we have Fisichella and Barrichello with 7 points. 8th is held by Irvine with 5 points. 9th is Frentzen with 3 points. 10th is De La Rosa with 2 points. And Villeneuve is 11th with 1 point.
Renault stay ahead in the Constructors' Championship, despite having their lead reduced by this result. Ferrari are second, whilst third place is held by McLaren.
Our team still leads the Constructors' Championship with 73 points. Ferrari are second with 67 points. McLaren are third with 61 points. In fourth are Williams with 55 points. Sauber are fifth with 11 points. Jaguar and Jordan share 6th with 7 points. Arrows are 7th with 3 points. And BAR are 8th with 1 point. So we are now tied with Schumacher in the championship, and there are only 6 more rounds to go. 6 rounds in which we will have to do our best and score as many points as possible. We can still lose this. In fact, we are in the process of losing it. Next up is the German Grand Prix at Hockenheim, where we managed to win in the last season, but back then it looked completely different. Well, almost. Only the stadium section is the same as it was in 2001. Everything else has been rebuilt, so we'll have to wait and see how well we will fare on the new layout. But until then, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, stay sharp.